up, people? Shoquafina here, coming at you with a draft analysis video for our team in the NBA, the National Battle Association. If you guys are excited for this new league, please leave a like down below and subscribe so you can get the team builders and the battles each and every week. Now, I am so happy that I have this team. I'm so excited to be using this because I feel like it's a lot better than the team that we have in the GPL currently, which is our Mega Altaria team. I realize that that team's lacking a lot of coverage, and a lot of the Pokemon on that team do the same thing as other Pokemon on that team. So I went for more diversity here. I went for more type coverage. I went for some wall breakers, some things that could do multiple things. And, you know, just to have maybe some backups for that later on with other Pokemon I have in the draft as well. So let's go over this team. And if you guys like what you see, make sure you leave a comment down below and a like down below. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Maybe any suggestions, because we do have, I think it's any number of trades that I can make with other coaches up until a trade deadline, or 3 free agent picks. So this team might change a little bit throughout the season, but I really like it the way it is, so it might not as well. Well, right off the bat, round 1, we drafted 4th overall, just like we did in the GPL. This time, I decided not to go with my Mega right off the bat. I have probably 4 or 5 Megas that I'm really comfortable using and know how to use them effectively, as long as I have the right support. And I feel like the Pokemon I picked up in the first round gave me the right support for the majority of those Megas. It's the best Rapid Spinner in the game. 3 very good abilities if you want to use them and have the potential to use them, with a great attack stat and a decent speed stat as well. I'm talking, of course, about Excadrill, our screwdriver here. First pick on my team, 4th overall. He has the Sand Rush, he has Sand Force. Sand Rush doubles his speed when he's in the sand. It gives him immunity to Sandstorm, which he already has immunity to Sandstorm, so it doesn't really matter. Sand Force gives him 1.3 damage on ground, rock, and steel attacks while in sand. So basically gives him life orb damage for ground, rock, and steel attacks while he's in the sand. And then Mold Breaker, which is arguably his best ability, allows you to use any move and just ignore the abilities of other Pokemon. So let's say use Earthquake on something with Levitate. Earthquake's gonna hit it. You know, if you use Stealth Rocks on something with Magic Bounce, the Stealth Rocks are gonna go up. So that makes this thing very scary, and it makes my opponent have to guess, rather, what kind of Excadrill I'm bringing each and every week. Am I bringing the Sand Rush to outspeed everything on his team, or am I bringing Mold Breaker to make sure I get rocks up and hit his Levitators with EQs and things like that? So yeah, this is such a good Pokemon. You can run this thing with so many different things. Life Orb, if you want to run bulky, you can even run Assault Vest. You can run Banded Drill. I've seen Scarf Drill a couple of times. It's very versatile. I'll probably run Life Orb the majority of the time just to make sure I'm able to switch up my moves, because this thing gets great coverage. You get Brick Break, Stab EQ, Stab Iron Head, you get Poison Jab for grass types, you get Shadow Claw, X Scissor for grass types. If you want to go that instead, you can Swords Dance, Sub Up, Stealth Rock, like I already said, you get Rock Slide for rock coverage. So this thing gets pretty decent coverage, and with this 135 base attack stat, you know, you max this out, you go Adamant, 371, that's incredible. If you want to go bulky, look at this. Look how much HP this thing has. Put an Assault Vest on this. Even though it only has 65 special defense, 424 HP is incredibly high, especially for a mon that's not really known for taking hits very well. 88 speed, that's faster than Mega Altaria. If I want to go Jolly on this thing, not Impish. If I want to go Jolly on this thing, I hit 302. That's not terrible. That outspeeds a lot of Pokemon. Definitely not the worst thing in the world. But we're going back to round 2, and I'm like, I might want to pick up a Mega right now, because the first pick of the draft overall was Mega Manectric. So Megas are starting to get picked up here and there, because people are realizing, oh, okay, this is going to be one of those drafts where people keep going after the Tier 1 Megas right off the bat. So if I want what I want to get, then I'm going to have to draft early for it. And that's exactly what I thought too. And I thought, since I have the best Rapid Spinner in the game here in Excadrill, I might as well get a Pokemon that's 4 times weak to Stealth Rocks, right? Helter Skelter, our Mega Pincer here, with the Aerolate ability. If you thought 135 attack was good, look at this 155. Look at this, just look at this. 449 adamant attack, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Someone arrest this man, because that's, you know, he stole some of this from some Pokemon. But okay, he's got 120 on the defense, which is still good. 65 HP, you know, could be better. But the defenses look pretty good. He's got 105 in the speed, so he's going to outspeed all your 100 base speed mons, like, you know, your Mews and your Victinis, all those kind of Pokemon. And the Aerolate ability is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And before he evolves, we can get Hyper Cutter, which absolutely is great, especially if someone has Intimidate Core. I can switch this in on someone that's coming in that's Intimidate, and I can just have Hyper Cutter ability, not need to worry about dropping my attack. And then I can SD in its face and say, my attack's not going to drop, but it will sure as hell raise. So that's really good. It gives me something to actually switch in on like Mega Manectric, who has the Intimidate. So if I have this out, or if I know it's coming in, I can switch the unmega form of this in, not have to worry about the drop, and then switch out to something else, so I don't have to take the Intimidate on something, which is pretty good. Also Mold Breaker or Moxie. Moxie's not going to do anything since I have to Mega Evolve first turn anyway. Mold Breaker, kind of the same thing. So I'm going to be running Hyper Cutter until I Mega Evolve and get Aerolate, in which case I can Body Slam things, if sure, Double Edge things. Facade might actually come in handy. And I can go Frustration or Return, depending on what I want to do. This thing has access to Knock Off, Quick Attack. Quick Attack after an SD with 415 base attack. Or not base attack, with 415 attack. Rex Shot. That thing will kill anything, pretty much. Especially if you're weak to Mega Pincer stab, you're dead. That's just how it is. Brick Break and Close Combat for fighting coverage. This thing gets Edgequake. I think it gets Stone Edge. Yeah, it gets Stone Edge. So it gets Edgequake. Stealth Rock, why not? Rock Slide if you don't want to rely on the accuracy on Stone Edge. X Scissor for stab. A lot of fighting type moves here, which is absolutely fine. More coverage for the rest of the team here. I already said knockoff, but yeah, this thing gets a decent amount of coverage. Not the best, but to be honest with you, you don't need to run a whole lot of coverage on this thing. You run Swords Dance, 3 moves. One of them being Quick Attack. Those are 2 of the moves you need. The other 2 are just for coverage. You can go Frustration and then like Close Combat or Edgequake if you want to go Edgequake for the last 2 moves. So, yeah, very good mon. This thing leads the GBA in kills almost every year. It's absolutely insane. I'm really glad I got this, and I think I actually have a good. I think I have a really good synergy here with Screwdriver and Helter Skelter. You have the Rapid Spin support here, and I just have a complete monster right here. So the one thing I am a little afraid of though is some EQs, especially before I Mega Evolve, because I am Flying type, so I will be immune to EQ. But generally, if something has Earthquake, it can also get Rock type coverage, so I don't really want to switch this thing in on too many Earthquakes. And this thing is weak to Earthquake. It does resist the Rock, obviously, but it is weak to Earthquake, and I want to preserve this because it can definitely be a late game sweeper in and of itself. So I want something that's immune to Ground, and something that can also do stuff to Rock type. So obviously I have to go Rotom Wash. Rotom Wash and Excadrill actually pair together extremely well. The only thing this is weak to is Grass. This is technically weak to Grass as well, and that's fine, but I have Mega Pincer who quad resists Grass after Mega Evolution, and I can just Quick Attack and kill whatever Grassmon they want to send in, because most Grass Pokemon are very frail, so that's fine for me. This is weak to Ground, this is immune. You know, they pair pretty well together. This gives me a Volt Switcher, obviously. I can run this thing physically defensive. I can run this thing specially defensive. I can run it as an attacker with a Choice Scarf and Switcheroo or Trick, whatever one you get. Yeah, Trick. So I can run Choice Scarf, Trick, and then, you know, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Willow or Thunderbolt, something else, you know, depending on how I want to run that week. But yeah, this thing is actually very versatile. Very good Volt Switcher. It can be slow Volt Switcher with a Scarf. It can be a fast Volt Switch for, you know, getting in Mons to answer my opponent. So I feel like this actually works very well for my team. I'm very excited to have Rotom Wash. I wanted to pick up Rotom in the GPL, but I got sniped a couple picks before I was able to grab it. So I was kind of disappointed about that. I'm very happy I was able to pick it up. Laundromat's here. He's going to clean your clock and probably your clothes. So, you know, Laundromat's just here. Now next we have Gojira, our Tyranitar. Yes, that is racist. No, I don't care. He has the Sandstream and the Unnerve. Let's face it, guys, I'm probably going to be running Sandstream for the Extra Joe majority of the time. Such a good Pokemon. Let's look at this thing. 134 base attack, 100 HP, 110 on defense, 100 on special defense. But with the Sandstream, that special defense is going to only go up. Its speed's the only thing it's really lacking on. 95 special attacks, so even if I want to run a couple of different special attacking moves, this thing does get Bolt Beam, so that's fantastic coverage. It gets Bolt Beam and it gets Edge Quake. That's phenomenal. This is such a good mon. It also has Pursuit to Pursuit Trap things. It gets... Does it get all the Elemental Punches? I think it does. I think it gets all of the Elemental Punches. Yes. It gets T-Wave, Taunt, Surf. Why do you get Surf? I don't know. You get Superpower. Another Stealth Rocker. We're seeing a trend here. Shadow Claw. Outrage. Even if I want to set up, I can go for an Outrage. It's not Stab, but it still hits like a truck. Dragon Tail things out after I set up Stealth Rocks. I can crunch things. Brick Break. Avalanche if I know I'm going to be moving slowly. And get damage first. Aqua Tail for... more water coverage. So this thing does get a decent amount of coverage, and it does what I needed to do for my team. That is set up the sand for Screwdriver to sweep in the end. I was debating between this and Hippo, but honestly this thing has the attack and special attack capabilities that Hippo really doesn't have. Hippo is definitely more of a wall. This could be either a wall or an attacker. I've seen this thing run Scarfed, I've seen this thing run Specs, I've seen this thing run Banded, I've seen this thing run with Life Orb, Leftovers, Assault Vest, I've seen it, Lumberry, Rocky Helmet, I've seen it run, Citrus. You know, this thing, you can do anything with it. It is the definition of versatile, and I'm really happy. I really love Tyranitar. It's one of my favorite mons in the game, period. And it's just so cool. Going on, you shiny? I mean, you look the same pretty much, except for you look more green. No, you're not gonna be shiny. So that's Gojira. Now I have kinda almost the makings of a couple of cores here. I have one type out of my Fairy Dragon Steel, one type out of my Firewater Grass. So I want to really, you know, finish those off. And I do that, I start on that with my next pick here. I go with Hentai, my Dragalge. Adaptability is an incredible move, but Adaptability Draco Meteor is just stupid. It's stupid. You put a Specs on this thing, Adaptability Draco Meteor, modest, full special attack, this kills something. Just flat out, guys. Like, I'm not kidding. This just will just kill something. I don't care what you send in. It's not taking a Draco Meteor, and it sure as hell isn't taking another one on the next turn if you somehow manage to live. So Adaptabilities, Choice Specs, Draco Meteor. I can run Life Orb. It'll do the same thing. I can run Expert Belt. It'll do about the same thing. You get so much coverage with this too. I was actually surprised. I didn't know this thing got things like Thunderbolt. I didn't know it got Surf. I didn't know it got one of the best moves in the game in Scald. I didn't know it got Scald, guys. I never run Dragalge. I like Dragalge. I think it's a cool mod. I just never run it. You can go Play Rough even. Hydro Pump if you want to hit things really hard. Of course, you have Stab with things like Sludge Bomb and Sludge Wave. Toxic Spikes if you want to be, you know, maybe like a Sash setup or early mon, hazard stacking mon. Facade, Dragon Tail for Stab. A lot of different options here. Of course, Hidden Powers, because 97 special attack is really good. 123 on the special defense. So Assault Vest could even be viable on a Dragalge if you do the EVs right. Not as versatile as, say, Tyranitar, but definitely still a really good mon. And Draco Meteor Adaptability just kills things. It's not even funny. You can rip holes in so many teams with Draco Meteor and Sludge Wave with Adaptability and E-Belt, Life Orb, Specs. whatever. Doesn't matter. It's gonna hurt something or kill something. So I look forward to running this. Of course, a big downfall is its speed's only 44, which is terrible. I realize that. It's absolutely awful. So I might need to run T-Wave on Go Zero or on Laundromat. But, you know, it's gonna kill something. It forces switches, and when something switches in, it dies. Basically is the idea here with Hentei. I think it's a really good mon. I look forward to using it later on. And to complete our Fairy Dragon Steel Core, we have our Fairy. Bulma, our Gardevoir. Regular Gardevoir, not Mega, obviously, since we have Mega Pinsir. We have Synchronize, Trace, and Telepathy as our abilities. Synchronize, of course, if you get status, then you copy that status onto your opponent. Trace is on switch-in, or when it can. This Pokemon copies a random adjacent foe's ability. So basically, if your opponent has the ability to Levitate, you can switch in Gardevoir, and you get Levitate. Or Volt Absorb, or Mold Breaker, really anything. You know, you get that ability, which is pretty cool. It helps you really scout sets on mons. Like if I was going up against, say, an Excadrill, and I wanted to sack this thing off, I could just have Trace on it, I could send it in, I could see what kind of Excadrill it is. You know what I mean? Or, you know, just on anything that has really good abilities that you don't know what ability it's going to be, Trace on this really, really helps you scout sets. Oh, excuse me. And then Telepathy, it doesn't take damage from attacks made by its allies, so that really doesn't do anything for us, since it's not doubles, it's singles, but Synchronize and Trace are definitely very good abilities. You can take a look at this thing's stats. Special attack's 125, that's really good. Special defense is 115, that's not bad at all. It's hindered by its HP a little bit, though, at 68. Its speed's at 80, which is okay. There's definitely better, but there's definitely worse. Mega Altaria hits 80. So, you know, could be better. But, yeah, this thing could also be kind of like how Laundromat was with Choice Scarf and Trick. You can do the same shenanigans here. You get access to Encore, of course Psyshock and Psychic for stab. You get Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam for stab. You get access to Taunt, Will-O-Wisp here, Thunder Wave. You know, so a lot of shenanigans you can pull with this thing. Or if you want to go Calm Mind, you can Calm Mind and try and sweep. You get access to Energy Ball to hit Water types and Rock types super effectively. Focus Miss if you want to just piss yourself off. You don't want to go Hyper Voice because this thing doesn't have Pixelate like Mega Gardevoir does, so just ignore that. Memento, I think, is a waste, but it's there as an option if you need it. Pain Split for recovery. Shadow Sneak in case you want some sort of priority. We have Shadow Ball, hits from the special side, which is your best bet. Yeah, so Sub Calm Mind, Moonblast, Psyshock on this thing can actually put in a lot of work, considering how bulky it already is from the special defensive side and how great its special attack already is. So Gardevoir can definitely put in some work. I'm looking forward to it putting in some work. I love Gardevoir. Everyone loves Gardevoir. If you don't love Gardevoir, then you don't know what you're talking about, and you should just quit Pokemon. So here's the remainder of our team here. Here we have Lil Romeo, our Roserade. I needed a grass type for my fairy, or not my fairy, my fire, water, grass core, obviously. And this thing was on the board. I haven't really used Roserade too much, but I like its options. You get Natural Cure, you get Poison Point, you get Technician, so that gives us more viability from an offensive standpoint as well. Moves 60 power or less, so that does include Hidden Power. And since this thing is a special attacker, you can run Hidden Power Fire or Fighting or whatever on this thing, and it's going to hit really, really hard. You get Energy Ball, you get access to Dazzling Gleam, you get Extra Sensory. So pretty good coverage here. Of course, the Hidden Powers hit extra hard thanks to Technician if you want to do that. Sludge Bomb for stab. You get Toxic Spice, you get Synthesis, Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Shadow Ball for coverage. So this thing is actually pretty good if you use it correctly. Leaf Storm if you want to just blast through something. So I'm going to be bringing Lil Romeo here. It can be very bulky. You can see its special defense is pretty good. HP is kind of so-so, but it's pretty surprising on the speed. I didn't know that it was 90 speed when I first, saw it. But after taking a look at it, I can realize this thing can actually sweep through if I play properly. Because of the coverage that it gets, because of its options, and because of things like Technician boosted, hidden powers with a Life Orb, this thing can actually put in a lot of work. And my goal is to get this thing to at least clean up a team at the end of the game. I want this thing to get a mini sweep by the end of this season. That's my goal. So don't be surprised if I try and bring this a couple of times, just trying to sweep people. Up next we have Aviator, coming from the GPL where we dropped him. Oh god, but we're going to keep him this time because he fits this team so much better than he did the last one. I know this is our second dragon type, but that's absolutely fine. It gives us another ground type and a levitate user, so it gives me an immunity to electric and immunity to ground, which is great. I love immunities. It also gives me a defogger, which takes a lot of pressure off of Excadrill when it comes to hazard removal. So I can bring this, I can bring Excadrill, and they don't know which one's going to be my hazard removal. I can just have a bulky Excadrill with Rapid Spin, and I can bring this thing, like, Choice Scarfed with Outrage, you know? Or I can bring this thing with Defog, and then bring that Excadrill just to wreck people's faces, right? I mean, we all know what Flygon does. We all love Flygon. You get U-Turn with this thing, you get Edgequake, you get Tailwind, which will be great. Oh my god, it'll be so great, because all of my Slowmons... Can you imagine Choice Specs Dragalge behind a Tailwind? Can you imagine that? Jesus God, everything would die. You get Single Beam Roost for recovery, you get Rock Slide if you don't want to go with Stone Edge. You can run special on this thing, special attack is 80. The only things that are 100 are the attack and speed. 100 speed's pretty good, it's not really the greatest though, but it'll do, especially with access to Tailwind, like I said. But the big reason why I picked this up is because it is the best defogger in its tier. Bar none. 100%. You can't argue with that, because if you do, you're wrong. Fire Blast, Flamethrower for Fire Stab, Fire Coverage, which I really didn't have before outside of Hidden Power. So that's really good for me. I really like that. And things like Hone Claws if you want to bring Stone Edge and things that miss quite a bit. So it's a really good Mon, guys. It's a really good Mon. I'm going to keep it on the team this time just because it fits so well. It's my only defogger. It can be run physically or specially. It can even be run as kind of a defensive scout set. You know, you can run Tailwind U-Turn and then Tailwind U-Turn, Defog, and what, Earth Power or Earthquake on it, and it can be really good at just being a support Mon. So I think Aviator has a lot of viability on this team. I feel like I'm going to bring it a lot more this league than I would in the other league, so I'm really excited to actually have a Flygon that I'm going to use. And our next pick is a Spin Blocker, Conjuring to Spiritomb. I love Spiritomb. Oh my god, I so love Spiritomb. It gets Pressure or Infiltrator. Infiltrator is a very underrated ability. I love Infiltrator. Its defenses both at 108. Its HP's only at 50, which isn't very good, but its attack is 92, and it gets Stab, Sucker Punch, which is great. It also gets things like Destiny Bond, Foul Play, Will-O-Wisp. You can trick things. Again, another Pokemon that can get tricked. Taunt. There's that Stab, Sucker Punch I was talking about. You get Shadow Sneak, so dual Stab priority is very good. Gives me another Pursuit Trapper. I can run Pain Split. If I want to run a special Spiritomb, which can be done, 92 special attack, it gets Nasty Plot. It gets Calm Mind. It gets things to set up with, which is awesome. It doesn't get Swords Dance though. I forgot. Does it get Swords Dance? It shouldn't. No, it doesn't. It gets Swagger. I can bring Swagger. Oh, people are gonna hate me if I bring Swagger. But yeah, Shadow Ball for Stab. You can run Pursuit, like I said. The Hidden Powers, obviously. Destiny Bond, which might be nice. Dark Pulse for Stab as well. So, yeah, this thing can be run either physically, it can be run specially, it can be run defensively with things like Will-O-Wisp. It can just be an annoying Pokemon to deal with Toxic and Taunt and Sub. Actually, Toxic Taunt, Sub, and Sucker Punch might be maybe something in and of itself. But yeah, Sub, Nasty Plot, Sub, Calm Mind, very viable. This thing can actually rip holes in teams if the teams are not prepared for it. So this could be a really surprising bring some weeks, and I expect it to be very surprising, and that's why I picked it. But we need a Fire type. We have the Fairy Dragon Steel core, but we're a fire type away from finishing the second core. And I was looking around, and it came between this next mon and a different one. We got Blaziken. Now, obviously, I can't run Speed Boost. I would love to use Speed Boost, but it is banned from League format. It's because it's also banned from Smogon. So we have to run Blaze, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Because look at this thing's attack stat, 120. 110 special attack. That's great. That's so good. I get Baton Pass. I can Swords Dance Baton Pass. Poison Jab for coverage. I can run Power Up Punch. I have Rock Slide, Stone Edge. I get Will-O-Wisp if I want to run defensively and just confuse people. Flame Charge to get some speed and to hit things pretty decently. And I also get Brave Bird, guys. Come on. Brave Bird, Acrobatics, Bird Spam on a fire fighting type. Seriously? Yeah, I'm going to do it. You bet your ass I'm doing that one week. Hone Claws there to set up. Edgequake. So, very good mon. For a fire type, it was between this and Typhlosion. I feel like this is a bit better because it can be physical or special and just gets better coverage moves in general. I like the Flash Fire ability on the Typhlosion, but to be honest, just the pure amount of things this can do makes up for it. This thing gets knockoff, you know, superpower for stab. They hit things incredibly hard. Blast Burn. Just, if I want to be that guy. Counter. I can roar things out. It's just, it's so much better than Typhlosion. I'm really glad I picked this up instead. And I feel like I'm going to be bringing Agility Baton Pass one of these weeks. Just letting everyone know. Agility Baton Pass. That's going to happen. So Apoyo Loco is here. And for our final pick, I want something that can help the rest of my team because I have a fairly slow team. You know, with exception to Aviator hitting base 100 and a couple other mons being up there, I really don't have things that are very fast. So I went with Liepard. Liepard is base 106, which I think is the fastest thing on my team, which is actually very bad for me. But I get Prankster, and with Prankster comes Prankster Yellow Magic T-Wave, and that's incredible. Prankster T-Wave. This thing's gonna be coming a lot. I'm letting everyone know right now, this thing's coming a lot. I don't care if you all know, because what are you gonna do about a Prankster T-Wave? Send in a ground type or an electric type to take it? That's fine. I'll just U-turn out. Or I'll taunt your ground type so you can't set up rocks. Or I'll trick it something. You know what I mean? Look at this. This is a settle by itself. I can encore things. I have Foul Play. I have Knockoff with this. I have Sucker Punch with this. And they're both Stab. Stab Knockoff, Stab Sucker Punch. I get Night Slash for high crit ratio. I get Play Rough for a fairy type move. I can another Pursuit Trapper. Seed Bomb for grass coverage. I get Shadow Claw. A lot of good coverage on this thing. It is very, very frail. 88 attack, 88 special attack. That's okay. I can deal with that. I can work with that. A Life Orb on that, I'll be doing decent enough damage for it to be alright. Oh, excuse me. Gunk Shot. Grass Knot. So this can be run physically or specially. And if I want to go special with Nasty Plot, I can. If I want to go physical with Hone Claws, I can. If I want to just bring this to something that's really annoying with T-Wave, Taunt, Trick, U-Turn, I can. It gets Prankster, it gets Limber, and Unburden. So Unburden, Prankster, two very, 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 very good abilities. Of course, Unburden it doubles its speed whenever its item is lost, so I can put some kind of gem on this thing, maybe, and then, I don't know. No, I wouldn't want to run a gem on this. Probably like a Citrus or a Focus Sash on this thing, and then have its speed double with Unburden. Or I can just run Prankster and just mess everyone's day up with things like T-Wave and Taunt and Encore and Trick. So, that's the idea here. I do get access to Fake Out. I can run Fake Out Normal Gem. I could run Fake Out Normal Gem, Unburden. Liepard's gonna sweep somebody. Alright guys, thank you for watching. If you enjoy the team, or if you if you have any suggestions at all, please let me know. Leave a comment down below what you thought. Leave a like as well. Subscribe for more videos pertaining to the NBA and the GPL and other videos to come. I hope you guys like what you saw. I'm really excited to use this team. I feel like it's so much better, so much more diverse than my GPL team. And I feel like I can actually put in a lot of work with this thing too. Because, in my opinion, this is one of the better teams that was drafted in the league. I just hope I can use it well enough to reflect how good it is. So, yeah, once again, guys, thank you for watching. My name is Shoquafina. I'm your coach of Lake Huron Lanturns here in the NBA and in the GPL. And I'm out.